Good evening, and welcome to another sanctimonious episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your sacrosanct and sanguine host, Voice of Doom. Good evening. I'm going to do a little reading today, just something that we can put in the archives, put on the public record. Have a little shot of this. Found a book on my shelf, and it's got very, very thin pages, very thin. Has my name written on it and everything. I don't know if you can see it. The light's weird. Yeah. Got this when I was confirmed as a Lutheran. But I'm going to read a few passages that we really didn't study much in the Lutheran Church because we didn't want to go there. Revelation chapter 13, lucky number 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power, and his seat, and great authority. Interesting. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So I'll leave it there. You can make of it what you will. Dragon, bear, I don't know. I don't know what it means. 10 crowns, 10 republics, I don't know. Everybody can interpret it the way they want to. It's just a prophecy, and it may not even apply to us. But we'll go on. Revelations 18, the fall of Babylon. I found it interesting. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, in the cup which she hath fill to her double. I think they meant filled full to her double. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all Thyan wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and I don't like the wine part, and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, which are made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried, when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? Well, I'll leave it there. It's Revelation chapter 18. I find it interesting. I may not adhere to all the doctrines of this particular religion, but, something to think about. Babylon. Could that be the greatest country on God's green earth? Perhaps. Perhaps not. I have time for one more thing. I'm not going to pontificate on what I read too much. I let you think about it. I'll go over here to the prior doctrine called the Old Testament. The one that was basically overruled by the New Testament, but we won't talk religious dogma. Deuteronomy chapter 32. It's called Moses' Song. Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, supposedly. Now, I'm not sure about that, but that's what they say. His song goes like this. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. because I will publish the name of the Lord. Ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not the Father, thy Father, that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations, and ask thy Father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee, when the Most High divided to the nation their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people, according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness, and led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields. And he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock, butter of kine, and milk of sheep, and with fat of lambs and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. By the way, Jeshurun means, it's a term of endearment meaning the people of the chosen people of Israel, God's chosen. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoking they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire has kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them. This is God talking, by the way. They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hairs. I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. And that's about half of that chapter. Song of Moses sounds kind of ominous. But I think I said a lot there, and I didn't say anything. I read from the King James Version of the Holy Bible, which you can interpret it any way you want to, and I can interpret it a way I want to, because I don't attribute certain things to being a god. It's a very personal and ethereal and diaphanous concept, so I think we all know what God is. We just can't really describe it. And I think he said a lot. So Deuteronomy 33 or 32, something like that. Revelation, check it out. I mean, there's a lot to learn. So I'll leave it there. I didn't say anything. I let the Word of God say it. I don't know if God actually said it, but I'll go along with it. Got no skin in the game. So I hope you enjoyed that, and have a good night.